works for you is really up to you. So let me just take a minute and go through them. So I said option one is to do nothing, which means you're going to end up with a foreclosure. That's not really an option. So I literally put an X through it. Option two is to pay off or refinance the loan. You probably can't refinance it because you're delinquent on the loan, and I'm assuming that you don't have funds to just pay off the loan and don't have access to funds to pay off the loan. So that's not an option. The next thing is to reinstate. Do you know what the arrearage balance is? And it's not unusual to be $30,000 or more. Well, do you have $30,000 or access to $30,000 in order to pay it off? And then if you did pay it off, do you have the ability to resume making your mortgage payment? The answer is no. So that's not an option. The next option is to get a loan modification. Have you attempted to get a loan modification before now? And this is where they tell me, this is my fourth attempt trying to get one. And what are the reasons you're not getting a loan modification? Well, maybe it would be helpful for us to take a look at it, and we can tighten up your application and give you the best chance of getting it. So I circle or check the loan modification. So this is an option that we should probably review together to see if we might offer some additional assistance. And then you have a forbearance. So the forbearance is where the lender takes your arrearage and then they tack it onto the back and re-amortize. We're not seeing banks really doing this anymore. They're either giving you a loan modification or you're not. So that's not an option. A partial claim is where the lender gives you a second loan. We don't see that at all ever. Deed in lieu of foreclosure is an option. That's where you voluntarily foreclose, where you just flip them the keys to the house and say you take it. But the banks don't generally want to consider this option until you've attempted selling the house. Have you thought about selling the house? That's the first question I ask them. Have you thought about selling the house? And I get some feedback. I'm not asking them because I'm interested in selling the house in this context. I'm asking because I'm interested. I'm asking them if they've ever thought about selling the house. And what were your thoughts about that? Okay. So then that's not really, you don't want to sell the house, then that's not really an option. Then you have bankruptcy. A lot of people mistakenly think that bankruptcy is going to result in a lower payment. All bankruptcy does is buy you more time. And then the banks, eventually bankruptcy runs out, or the bank goes in and asks for a lift to stay, which takes you out of the protection of bankruptcy, and they foreclose on you while you're in bankruptcy. It will buy you a little time for you to get a loan modification, okay? Or to sell your house if that's what ends up being your only option, okay? But bankruptcy is not going to save your house from foreclosure permanently. Okay. In fact, we only use bankruptcy at the 11th hour when we have no other options. And then the last option that you have is just to sell your house. Whether or not you have equity in your house or you don't have equity in your house, the last option is to sell your house. And if you're trying and failing to get a loan mod over and over again, at some point selling your house really becomes the option, because my concern for you is that if you're going to lose your house, I want you to lose your house with money in the bank versus losing the house with no money in the bank. And oftentimes selling your house is an option. So when we take a look at all these options, you got option number one is to get a loan modification, and option two is to sell your house. When you look at these two options, which do you think is best for your situation? And now we're having a conversation about that. And now, see, and if I use these tools to get past the first 90 seconds with somebody at the front door, there is a very high probability that I'm going to end up spending 30, 45, 60 minutes with them. And that is going to lead to the second meeting where I bring more resources. So I said, so we need to do that. I'd love to see a copy of your application. I got a book. I want to bring you How to Negotiate Your Own Loan Mod. I've got some Keep Your Home California options that you should probably be taking a look at that might be of assistance to you. And I've got access to some other resources that I think would be highly beneficial. So I think it's important that you and I get together again. How about tomorrow for us to review your options? Because we don't want any grass to grow under our feet, because every day we get closer to the foreclosure, the more leverage the bank has over you, and the greater the likelihood is that they're going to succeed in foreclosing on your house. Okay, and I get a second appointment. So I bring so I talk to them about the How to Negotiate Your Loan Mod, and I put these documents together for another day. And then we get the objections. I want to stay in my home. I've got it taken care of. It's the bank's fault. They made a mistake. My spouse is taking care of it. I don't care anymore. I'm walking away. My lender has agreed to allow us to pay their arrears. What's in it for you? These are the questions that we're getting. And so we show you how to cover in the coaching group. We show you how to overcome these objections. So the first 90 seconds, we're really focused on explaining why you're at the front door. We want to be prepared to discuss loan modification. So I spend the whole third coaching session bringing you up to speed on how to talk all the ins and outs of loan modification, so you come off as an expert, as an authority of somebody who is qualified to assist them. And then I also lend you my good name and my company resources in order to leverage that credibility by offering to make myself available to consult with you and them on the merits of getting a loan mod versus not getting a loan mod and what the other alternatives are. You want to focus on being an advocate. Okay, focus on what's in their best interest. Take the dollar signs out of your eyes. Focus on just doing good work, of being of service. Don't try to offer to buy or sell their house. They may bring it up, but you don't offer. Even when I talked about selling the house, all I did was in the context of, have you considered selling your house before? I mean, which is something they would need to do in order to do a deed in lieu. Okay, and we do it, and we do it that way. We review the alternatives. The foreclosure, of course, we're using that to figure out what do they want. We want them to do the talking. And one of the ways that I get them to do the talking is I ask them, well, what did the bank do to you? Tell me your story. Tell me what's going on here. So the more background I have, the more likelihood I can help you. And I get them talking and pouring out to me. When they start to give me emotional, sensitive, detailed information, I know that I have won them over, because they do not share that information with people they don't trust. So if I can get them to open up a little bit and share with me what some of their frustrations and some of their feelings about their frustrations, I know that I'm getting a second appointment, and I know that if they don't get a loan modification, I'm listing their house. But if they're mechanical with me and they're just telling me about all the steps that they're taking and what they're going to do next and how they're going to do that, I'm not getting anywhere. So I have found the question, what did the bank do to you, to be a very good statement for opening the client up and getting them to be a little more vulnerable and sharing with me, some of the circumstances, their hardship, their struggles, the strategies, and how that makes them feel, what they're afraid of, what they're not afraid of, and that makes it much easier for me to understand their why, so I can focus on helping them. And sometimes in that exchange of information, they reveal to me information where moving is really the right solution for them, and I can talk to them about that. So I can talk to them about the emotional challenge. And generally it's women who want to stay in the house because that's where they nurtured their children, and men are more mathematical and scientific about it, and they just want to get out from underneath the burden and get into something else. And so there are some statements that I'll teach you how to make in the coaching group that show them how moving them from that the best way to achieve their objective is not fighting to stay in the house. The best way is to let the house go and get transitioned into something else. And there are lots of financial and emotional reasons to do that. And I talk to you about those in sessions 3 and 4 to get you prepared to overcome those emotional concerns. And remember, this is just the first meeting, not the last meeting. So the question you have to ask yourself as we wind down with 6 minutes to go, I'm racing the clock here, is can you see yourself doing this? Can you see yourself putting the tag on the door, letting them call a call center, scheduling an appointment, and showing up at their front door in order to have a conversation about their options? Will you get in front of homeowners, and will you be able to engage with them? So if you can see yourself doing this, then joining Monster or joining the Advocate marketing system, or both, is really something that you need to do. If you're in Monster already, you want to upgrade to the Advocate marketing system. If you're not doing either one of these things, you want to get started right away. So you've got the fast start guide. So we give you step by step. There's an audio that goes with this. Plus we got the step-to-step guide to walk you through it. Plus we've got 9 previous coaching groups that we've done. This is our 10th group. We've got 9 previous coaching groups. Every one of those coaching sessions have been recorded. I'll give you access to every one of those. You can get started right now if you wanted to. You don't even have to wait until April 4th when we get started. So some people are saying, hey, let me have the last coaching group and let me get started right away. And we will, and we go from there. And then then I provide you with all the vendor resources of who we're using for all of our programs. We provide the labels that you need in order to get started. So this is what the label looks like that our preferred label that we put on the front doors for those of you that hadn't seen it before. We give you the introduction letter. We give you the agent disclosure. We give you the 2 versions of the homebuyer assistant scams flyers. We give you the truth about loan modification flyer. We give you the Ask the Banker flyer, the how to negotiate your loan mod ebook that I wrote, the California Homeowner Bill of Rights flyer, the Cal BRE Consumer Alert flyer, the State Bar of California Senate 94 flyer, the Keep Your California Home flyers and pamphlets that you need, the mass joinder lawsuit, the alternatives to foreclosure, which is really the key, which you use for the process of elimination. We give you the weekly lender questionnaire and show you how to use it, which is even more important. We give you the door word track and show you how to use it and to overcome all the objections. We give you the loan mod cash flow worksheet and show you how to use it and how to and use it to move people off the dream of getting a loan mod into the reality that they're going to lose their house and they need to have some control over how they transition into a new place. There's some other stuff that we have now that I haven't even updated the slides for some of you out of state. We have an FTC flyer that covers the upfront fees that can be used nationwide. We've created some stuff in Florida. If your state has a version of Keep Your Home California, we'll gladly create a flyer for you if you want to be able to do that. And all these flyers are customizable so that you put your name and your logo and your contact information on it versus mine. Some people want license to put home loan advocates on it. We give you that license to be able to do that as well. And you get a free polo shirt. So I go to the door wearing a Home Loan Advocates Distressed Property Solutions polo shirt with a nice pair of jeans. That's how I go to the door. For those of you that want to do that, you can have a polo shirt that's included in the package. And then the mentoring program is really where the value is. Number one is you're going to get the step by step. Guess that's a typo. Setup video. Let's just say setup video. You're going to get the group mentoring sessions. We're going to do 4 group mentoring sessions. Again, they're starting on Tuesday, and then they're going to be 4 weeks with a week off for Passover. But you can have access to all of the coaching programs for the previous 9 if you want. They're all recorded webinars, like I've recorded this one. You're certainly welcome to use that. I give you 2 private mentoring sessions to talk about any part of your business, anything to do with building your business. I've built a business that's going to do $1.5 million in gross commission income this year. I do it with a very small team, and I'm happy to talk to you about what I did. And when I started this program, when I started Home Loan Advocates, I just finished my first short sale, and it was on mine. I just finished losing $1 million in income from a failed upfront fee loan modification business that we did, where I learned why people charged upfront fees to do loan modifications. My house was in foreclosure. My car got repossessed. I was in tough shape in 2009 and 2010, and we turned it all the way around and to what we have right now, the largest short sale negotiation company in the world, a very successful a franchise that's growing, an escrow company, and now it's evolving into property management and other related properties. I'll be happy to show you my system and my strategies and consult with you to put you on the right path to do some of the same things that I've been able to accomplish, if that's your desire to do. I give you unlimited transaction-related consultations. So if you get on a transaction, you call me, I talk to you. Granted, I'm not always the easiest person to get on the phone, but I will call you back every single time. And if you send me a detailed email that's, requires me to spend 45 minutes writing a response, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to call you and we're going to just talk about it. And I'm going to go through all the different variables. But I will provide you with if you get on a transaction, I'm going to get on the phone and consult with you, consult with your client, consult with the other parties as necessary in order to help you get that thing listed or in escrow. And I'm going to give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. Yes, there is a fee, to be able to upgrade. There is a cost of entry. I just don't have unlimited time to be able to do it. Otherwise, we provide a 30-day money-back guarantee. You get involved in the program, and you determine within 30 days that it's not for you. You just let me know. I give you your